Hi, in this video we are going to see how we can prepare dataset for making the LLM models and fine-tuning them. So this video will talk about how you can prepare your data for training any LLM model and fine-tuning it. So starting with, we are importing some libraries like pandas, datasets, pprint, transformer, auto tokenizer, and then we get the tokenizer from the existing model that we have. And then let's say we have a text, hi, how are you? The encoded text which will be output from the tokenizer will look something like this: 1 2 7 6 4 13 8 49 and so on. So basically what we have done, using tokenizer we convert it into a format which a model can understand and then use it for training or doing inference. And then if we give the same encoded text to again the tokenizer to decode, you can see it gives us back the original string, hi, how are you? So this is a way in which how tokenizing works. Next, if we have list of multiple sentences, that also we can give to tokenizer. And in this case we have passed that list, we got the encoded text as output, which is again a list, and then we have printed this list. We can see like for 3 sentences there are like 3 list inside list. In the next part we are talking about padding and truncation. So first what we have done is pad token, end of string token, we have like set the padding token how it should look like. Then in the next statement, encoded text longest, list tokenizer list text, and okay. So what we are doing here in tokenizer, we are giving all the sentences and saying padding equal to true. So what it will do, for example, in this case we have this as the longest list which has 1 2 3 4 5 6 elements, but in the other case the elements are not equal to 6. What it will do, padding equal to true will insert extra zeros in every list to make the length of all sentences equal. And it is very useful when you are like training your model, so that the model don't have to see different number of tokens for each sentence. Then we are talking about truncation here. In truncation, again we have give the our input text to the tokenizer, max length 3 and truncation equal to true. In this case we have specified what should be the maximum size of the list of tokens, and if it is more than that, then truncate. So in this case of since there were like 6 elements in this list, it got truncated and now it is equal to 3, and we can see all the elements on the right were truncated. So if you want that you want the truncation to happen from the left side, we can also give that command. We can specify that where the truncation should happen. So in this case we are again doing that, but you can see now we are getting the last 3 elements and the first 3 elements got truncated in the output. So this is how the truncation happens. Now in this case, if we want both the truncation and the padding to happen, we can set truncation true, padding equal to true, and we can see like how the output looks like. So in this case since in this only one element was there, we can see the padding has added extra zeros to make the length of each sentence is equal. Now coming to preparation of instruction in a dataset. So in the last video also we have seen like we were using some templates to fine tune the instruction. So again going through that. So first of all we are giving the output file name where we need to store the dataset. We are reading this file line by line. So this is the input file which consists of all the instruction. We are reading it line by line, and then we are like setting it into a template. So how we are doing that? So if there is question and answer both existing in this example, then the text will be equal to question, and then we are like concatenating the answer to that. If it is instruction and response, then we are concatenating, and so on. We are like setting up the text, and then we are setting up the prompt template to like question answer. We are then taking the length of the examples, and then we are like starting iterating on those examples, and then we are taking out question and answer from the example, and then we are setting up the prompt template. How we are doing that? We are providing question. So this question we are inserting it into this prompt template, and this is the text with prompt template, and then fine tuning dataset append. So this is, where is this? So this is an empty list which we are appending with question prompt template and the answer. So what we are basically doing, we are setting up this template and giving it as question, and the answer is just the simple answer of that prompt which we have given. And then what we are doing, we are just printing it out. One example. So for example, this is the question. Question is, what are the different types of documents available in the repository? And we are seeing it is now waiting for the answer. And in case of answer, this is the answer which we have in the data set. So this is how like we are preparing the data set. Now coming to the tokenizing part. So let's say now we have the text ready. And in this text we are seeing again the fine-tuning dataset. We have appended the question and the answer. We are giving the tokenizer the text, and we are also padding it, and this is how the output would look like after the tokenization of the text. And in this case we have given the max length. So this max length corresponds to what would be the maximum, so in this case we are calculating what should be the maximum size, after which we have to truncate the output of the tokenizer. So first we have like calculated the maximum length. So it is the minimum of this or the maximum length of the input ID. So let's say in this input IDs, let's say there are 60 elements and maximum is 2048. It will choose a minimum, which is in this case 60, and then we'll set the 60 here to set the maximum length of the tokenizer, and then we are again printing it out. So we can see nothing got truncated because the 60 in this example was minimum. Then comes again the tokenizer function. So whatever we have seen above, we have just created a function out of it, so that we can just give in an example and it can output as a tokenized input. Then we are loading the dataset from a file, fine-tuned dataset loaded, and then we are tokenizing that dataset using the function which we just saw, tokenize function, batch equal to true and batch size equal to 1. So basically all the dataset that we have, it will be divided into batches of 1, and we are also dropping the last batch because it don't have all the appropriate tokens available, so we just drop it because it's of unequal size in most of the cases. And then we are also printing the dataset. So let's see how the dataset look like. So we can see like one object of the dataset, and it consists of all these columns: question, answer, input IDs, attention marks. So question answer is in the plain text format, input ID is tokenized, and attention mask is like what text we need to give attention to. In this case, these are all ones. Then we are adding a column called labels to this tokenized dataset, and the value will be equal to input IDs. Why we are doing that? Because the models which we are going to use to train takes this labels as the input rather than input ID. So we just need to create that extra column. Next comes the splitting and splitting the train and test size. So in this case we are giving the test size as the 10% of the whole data set, and again we are just printing out the split data set. We can see number of rows in each train and test. In train there are 1260 rows, and in test there are 140 rows. Next is again we are specifying the fine-tuning data set. We are printing it out. Now we can also see if we want to use any other data set. We can see, so there is one Taylor Swift data set, BTS data set, and LLMS data set, and we are just printing out the train part of this Taylor Swift data set just to see how it looks like. So in this case it is the question, most popular song of Taylor Swift. Answer is Shake It Off, is like one of the most popular song and all that. Then comes the input ID. So this input ID again is the tokenized part of the question statement, and then comes the label part. So this label part is similar to input ID. We just created a new column with the same values. So in this video we have seen how we need to like prepare data and what all things are required. So basically first we like tokenize all the input text, and then we truncated it and padded it and fit it into a proper prompt template, and now our data is like ready to train our LLM model.